So now I also know, like, apart from being an established violinist, you are also an educator.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us more about how it is like being a Black teacher and how do you juggle, because it's a lot of responsibilities.
It is, and I'll start with I never wanted to be a teacher in the beginning, which is hilarious. I mean, both my parents are teachers. My dad was a mechanical engineering. He used to teach shop at Mohawk, and my mom is a now retired nurse from McMaster. She used to teach nursing at McMaster. So like, I came from teachers, and I swore up and down that I would never be a teacher. And I just said, I'm going to be a performer. I'm going to go get an orchestra job, that sort of thing. And landing the job at Community Music Schools of Toronto and seeing that there are kids of color who could really benefit from just me showing up.
Yeah.
Not even doing anything, but just being there, when you have parents saying, like, thank you for being here. And it's like, I don't even teach your kid, but it's something about that presence. The right teaching job changed my mind about teaching. And now it's such a large part of my life that I never thought that I would have. But it is a lot to juggle.
Yes.
I have an insane calendar that I'm very meticulous about because a lot of musicians, actually, I would say most musicians, especially if you're a freelance musician like myself, I'm sort of in between. I'm employed in some places, but freelance mostly. We manage ourselves. So there's a whole skill set of like being your own administrator and being your own graphic designer and being your own. There's a lot of things that, you're also doing. It's not just I show up and I teach, right? There's this whole backstory that happens behind the scenes, I guess you could say. So I have a meticulous calendar that I manage and almost micromanage because I need to have details because there are so many, we'll say, balls to juggle.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And I need the detail. And every student has a different need. So I take lots of notes, lots and lots of notes, because I feel like with every passing year, just something wants to fall out of the brain, right? So I need to just make sure that I'm on track, not only for myself, but also for them, because I owe it to them. I'm showing up, they're showing up. So I owe it to them that I give them what it is that they need.
Yeah.
It is a lot. And there's also, just time management in general. I have to look at my schedule and say, is there enough me time? Because I won't lie, there's some times where I feel like I should have invested a little bit more me time. So then, I have to go through this reflection and say, okay, but for next week, I need to make this change here and that change there to make sure that I have time for myself, to make sure I have time for my daughter as well.
Yeah.
And anybody else who flies through my life who I would love to spend some time with. So it's a lot. And definitely, the teaching, though, that is, it's inextricable from my being, in the same way that the violin is inextricable from me as a person. So
I think your hard work is just paying off. I know there is less me time for you, but students are looking up to you, is what I'm hearing, because when they see you, they feel somebody's represented there. And maybe that's how an inspiration works for a child. So that's amazing.
You know what? When I see students flourish, I get so emotional about it, And I've got a student who, she was 9 or 10 when she started with me, and who was going into 4th year university in the program that I graduated from with my old teacher.
Okay.
She's studying with the same violinist that I studied with in my degree at University of Toronto. And she's going to graduate in the following year. And I just go, wow. It's like I helped her get to that point. And she also came from the Regent Park School of Music, and so there's like there's an extra side of that where I go, my heart. So just getting the feedback from my students to just to see them and ask, how are you doing? And then they give me this story of the things that they're doing. And I go, it's amazing. It's just so amazing. So I can't wait to see, my younger students grow up. And I have a moment, though. I will not lie. I have a moment when these students come back and they say, I'm graduating, like this one, I'm graduating from 4th, I'm doing my 4th year. And I go, I've been at this for a while, but yeah, I get really honestly tickled pink when I get the even if it's a mini success, I played in front of my class today. Great, because I know that was really hard for you. Like, that makes me feel happy. Great, let's do another one, so yeah, my students really, they keep me doing what I'm doing, because when they really have success, I just feel like I'm doing the right thing. So
I think that's the reward of being a good teacher.
Thank you.
I really wish you all the best, because
Cheers.
In my childhood days, we were used to write essays, and we always used to put like, teaching is a noble profession.
Yeah.
So I know what I'm saying, because it reflects while you're speaking. So it's definitely making a change in the society.
Thank you.
So I also know like you have expertise in a lot of languages.
I do.
Yeah. So tell us more about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, English is my first language, so I speak it perfectly fine. With grammatical errors like everybody else.
That's okay.
We're human. My next exposure, I guess, was French. It is not my next strongest, but I feel like most students in Ontario, we had our French knowledge. If you were not from immersion, I did the core French program. But through my work with Ensemble Aubiora in Montreal, I'm directly putting myself in a place to have to use the language, because I recognize that it's not a language I get to use at home. Okay. Like here in Ontario. Yeah. So I force myself to do as much speaking as I can in French when I'm there. Yeah. Not usually running rehearsals in French, because there's a mix of people from all over the place. And so English is kind of the standard in our group. But when we do interviews and they say, "Hey, Tanya, do you want to do an interview?" My inner self goes, "No." and then, eventually I go, "Yes." And my inner self freaks out a little bit. It's like, "Did you really say that?" But what I get out of it is the use of the words that I do know, and I have a chance to also look up the ones that I didn't use or I was trying to avoid in the interview, and look them up so that the next time I can use, those words. So French is, it's always a work in progress. Like I speak it, I feel like I speak, well, as much as I can do, like, basic interviews about, the group, about myself. But I'd say my sort of second go-to, my next go-to language after English is Spanish. I'm definitely at home at Spanish, 100%. I work in Spanish with my mariachi band. I've been speaking it to my daughter since she was born, so she speaks Spanish as well. So I have an outlet on a regular basis to speak and learn the language. And also with her, I'm learning new things, because the Spanish that I learned, so I learned it in university alongside my degree, just as an elective. The Spanish that you learn is more textbook. It's more at the restaurant or at the park or very specific situations. So it was very just tailored for school. And then when I left school, I actually took a volunteer position as an interpreter for new immigrants. And that's where I became fluent. But that was many moons ago. That was at least, I would say, 20 years ago.
Okay.
I've been speaking Spanish for quite some time. So, I would do everything under the sun, from a dentist appointment to, I once had to do welfare intakes. Those are really hard because there's a lot of legal jargon that you have to translate to the client. And even I think the sort of life-changing moment for me in terms of like how powerful language is in terms of connecting with culture and with the community, is when I had a case, and you basically just get a call and they say, "Can you come in? I've got a client who needs interpreting." Okay, no problems. You come in, you have no idea what you're really stepping into until you get there. And it was a client who had a small child in tow, very, very pregnant, and the baby was going to be born with a hole in the heart and needed a life-saving surgery. Okay. So I was there to interpret between her, the mom, and the caseworker. She wasn't quite in the hospital stage yet. We're speaking to the doctors, but with the caseworker who would then speak to the doctors, and making sure that all of the details were correct and that sort of thing. Sent her off on her merry way, and it was a good hour of just interpreting. And then I get a call, months down the line, "We've got another thing. Can you come in?" Sure. And the mom came back, and there were 2 babies.
Oh, nice.
You know, the baby, and then the same one in tow. And I was like, I remember you. And she's like, the baby's healthy, and like, you know, when you feel like you've been a part of this person's life, you know, where this baby was still in vitro, had a very serious problem, and is now on the outside world, living their best life, so to speak. It hit me that language is a very powerful tool that can really connect people and change lives. And I think that's why I connect so heavily to the languages that I speak and try to keep them up as much as I can. So yeah, Spanish and English for me are my main 2. After that, I would say French, and then my 4th is Dutch, which is a language that my dad spoke, but I didn't believe that he spoke it when I was a kid, so I learned it later. Dutch is very guttural, and it's, you know, as a person living in Canada, it's not something we hear very often. French we're exposed to. Spanish, I would say, is more common, you know, especially in Toronto, where there's a huge Latin American population. English is English, but Dutch is very, very strange, and you know, when you say, you know, good morning, it's okay, it's one thing. Bonjour in French, okay, fine, sounds nice, okay. Buenos dias, okay, good. And then you get goedemorgen, and you're like, okay, that's different. So I always used to think it was a strange thing when my dad would speak it. And I just didn't learn it. So yeah, when I was 17, then I found out that he wasn't lying. So then, you know, after going through my Spanish journey, I circled back around to Dutch, and I did a bunch of night courses for about 2 years. And so I'm technically speaking at a B2 level. And I went to the Holland, and, you know, I confused some of the people there as to being a local. So, you know, it feels good when you have that moment with somebody who speaks the language very well, like a local or somebody who's native. And all I was asking for was a stamp. You know, I want a stamp to put onto my postcard so I can send it. And then they said, oh, what kind of stamp do you want? And I said, oh, and, you know, internationale. Okay, yeah, great. Okay, here you go. And then she started to have a conversation with me. And then I said, oh no, my Dutch isn't that good yet. You know? And then she looked at me for an answer, and I'm like, ik heb geen idee. Like, I have no idea what you're talking to me about. And she's like, oh, I thought you were native. And I said, oh. She's like, your accent is so good.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
Yeah. And she said, your accent is so good. And I was like, oh, you know, there's something you feel good about there. So yeah, I try to keep up my languages as much as I possibly can, knowing that it will probably someday come in handy, and it has. I've luckily had the opportunities to teach in both French and Spanish. English is every day. And I had this random Dutch experience in Mexico, where you don't expect to use your Dutch, but I was there to teach the kids. So I was primarily speaking in Spanish, but at the home of somebody who came from the Netherlands.
Okay.
So it just so happened I saw their last name. I said, spreek je Nederlands? And she says, oh my God, in the middle of Mexico. So, you know, now I have a connection with this family just by saying, hey, you speak Dutch? And they go, whoa, you know, and it's like, now I want to get to know you more. Now I feel like I can trust you or whatever, you know, there's an immediate sort of response there. So I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you speak, you pick up that right accent. So for one time, I was not feeling like, okay, you don't know this, or maybe you have learned this language. Yeah. It felt like you are from the place.
Yeah. It's like when you feel like you can trick them into thinking that you're native, you're doing really well.
That's great to hear. Yeah. And that's a great tip, actually. Yeah. So, like, from an educator perspective, so you have traveled globally in Mexico, USA, Caribbean.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything?
Just for work. It's mostly on this side of the hemisphere. Yeah. Or on right down the Americas, basically.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, like, which country do you feel like the people have the general, like, natural understanding of music?
Ooh. I'm not sure if I can distill it to a country, but I would say though that the cultures that have music and movement directly intertwined, tend to be the ones that I feel have the deeper connection.
Yeah.
I feel like the Caribbean islands do really well in that way. I also feel like the Latin American countries do really well in that as well, like in terms of how they feel rhythms and what that does from, like, if I'm trying to teach anything really, that I have some place that I can pull from that is cultural for them too. So, I tend to move a lot, even when I play, but especially when I teach too. And I find that the students who are, in the Caribbean and the Latin American countries, when I move or I ask them to move, there's an openness to doing that. Yeah. And so that connection point with rhythm and with also expression is more natural. Yeah. I would say in the US and Canada, because it's a little bit of a mix in terms of cultures. Yes. Across the board, you can't really say that same sort of phenomenon is true. Yeah. I feel you get a mixed bag. And those who have the cultures that are more exposed to music and movement or dance or that sort of thing, you immediately sense that there's something different about them. Yeah. And the ones that don't, you really have to almost teach that and get them to jump outside of themselves and say, no, it's okay that you sing, or no, it's okay that you tap your feet, or that you move from side to side. So, and I see a plethora of manifestations of all of that, in a group of, say, 10 kids. We'll have the movers and the shakers, and then we'll have the ones who are very stoic. Yes. And the ones who are the movers and the shakers, hands down, are the ones who are getting it fastest. Because there's some sort of connection that is deeper than just the conceptual. Yes. So as long as you can get them to the conceptual, the movers and shakers are there. But if you're only conceptual, it's not to say that you can't do it. I just feel like the entry point is a little bit tougher to get through sometimes. So.
Yeah, because it also takes to be breaking your boundaries or barriers and then getting into that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's also a tricky thing about teaching is that that connection point emotionally, deeper than just I understand what the page is asking me to do. It says play loud here, so I'll play loud here. It says to move my bow here, so I'll do that. But beyond that, how do I feel about it? Yeah. That is the hardest thing to impart as an educator. If the student doesn't have that innate ability to do so, or the willingness to jump outside of themselves and be something else. Yes. So, again, if they come from different backgrounds that maybe are less movers and shakers, less culturally music integrated, that kind of thing, but say they have an acting background or they do musical theater or something, then it's asking them to be somebody else. And I feel like that's an entry point that I've used that has been really helpful, because they've had this other outlet where they've been taught to literally jump outside of themselves and do something, be somebody else. So using that is a nice little entry point. But sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you just have to do and do and do again and do it again, and just hope that over time they learn through osmosis, as they say.
I think that's where teachers like you come helpful.
It's a lot of patience for sure. I have oodles and oodles of patience. Even for the most misbehaved student, I feel like there's got to be some sort of key that unlocks, whatever it is we deem to be a good behaved student or a well-behaved student. There's always a way in. And I think as a person who grew up doing a lot of logic puzzles and just puzzles in general, teaching is a lot like that. Okay. It's like every student is like a new puzzle for me to unlock and figure out what makes them tick. Yeah. And what allows me to get into their creative side and bring it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree. Yeah. So I know your ancestral roots are from Caribbean. So how much of your music you owe to Caribbeans?
A lot of my willingness to move and dance and just emote, I feel, is very, very much a part of my culture. I grew up with so much music around me, which again is something that is inextricable from a lot of Caribbean cultures, especially my own. It wasn't just soca, it wasn't just calypso, it was Motown, it was R&B, it was, the oldies, rock and that sort of thing as well. But the things that I always go back to are the Motown, the R&B, and even, today's soca, even the old school soca as well. It's something that drives the rhythmic core of who I am.
What is soca?
Oh, soca is it's a genre of music that comes from the Caribbean, mostly in the South. I would say that Trinidad is the big place where soca lives, and a lot of the great soca masters come from Trinidad.
Okay.
So it's like kind of, or the dance music. It's like a dance music. So it's kind of the same stuff. It's basically exactly the same stuff you might see at Caravana or hear at Caravana is what soca is. So it's it may or may not have a steel pan, but it's got a very specific beat to it.
Yes, it's those amazing beats that we get to hear in the movies.
Exactly. And all of the things that you see people dance to with the big costumes and stuff, that's soca.
Okay.
Yeah, calypso is similar, but it's a lot of the older folk. It's kind of like if you have like the oldies pop and then like the pop of today. It's like the soca is kind of like the pop of today, and calypso is a little bit. It's like kind of like the things that my parents would have listened to. It does have a slightly different beat. It's not quite the same genre, and it's not that they don't make calypso today. That's just like sort of an easy way to maybe distinguish the two. But soca's the one that you're going to hear at Caravana. So that's sort of what I grew up on. A lot of all the family dinners and gatherings and barbecues and everything. There's soca and there's some calypso too, and a lot of dancing and movement. So yeah, I think it definitely drives my inner sense of rhythm and how easily I latch onto all of the different rhythms from different places as well. Like mariachi has a rhythm of its own. I will say that it's not exactly the same as really soca and calypso, but there's some basis of it that I feel like I can connect to. And there's this little subset of a rhythm that I don't quite get. And I feel like if I was Mexican, if I was exposed to that more often, then maybe that's something that I would eventually just like live and understand. So there's always going to be like a little something that I'll continue to have to work on. Yeah, I would definitely say that my Caribbean roots have helped me a lot in discerning different rhythms and feeling different rhythms. And I think the ones that are African based are the ones that I understand the most because the roots are very similar. So yeah, Latin American is another one that I love to play in, not mariachi specifically, but like salsa, merengue, reggaeton, like all of those genres that exist in Latin America, especially in the Caribbean, Spanish-speaking countries. My body also feels like it understands it, not just like my brain and like my ability to actually do it through my instrument, but I love to dance salsa and merengue and reggaeton because it feels similar to what I'm used to with my own culture. So it definitely drives a lot of the musical me.
Yes.
Yep.
That shows. And trust me, like whenever you are pronouncing the words, I'm really loving those. Like I just felt like I'm sitting with the Mexican artist here. It's just so true to the accent. Like,
thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So let's say somebody wants to take your footsteps and be a musician, more specifically, let's say a violinist. In Canada.
Sure.
So what would be your maybe notes to them to share?
Practice hard, but practice smart. Listen to your body. I would say specifically with violin because it's not the most ergonomically friendly instrument. It's not piano as you sit and you just raise your arms. Cello again as you sit and everything is more natural. Violin, you twist your hand and it goes over here and you do things on this side of your body, but not on this side of your body. Do you know what I mean? So everything is like swung off to the left. And the way that your body moves and the way that your neck has to be and the arms and everything sort of has to be just so. So I would say listen to your body very, very carefully. If there's pain or discomfort, you need to talk about it with your teachers because there's always a better way. Like I said earlier, social capital is really important. So connect yourself with people who are, I guess first and foremost, the ones that allow you a safe space. Because that is also super, super important that you feel like you're in a place where you're valued, that you can be yourself and flourish within. Super important. but also the people who are literally the movers and the shakers in your field. So in this case, in classical music. So connecting yourself with them to connect with the next person to the next person to the next person, and so on and so forth. And also just knowing your industry. And I think that with every industry, you kind of want to know who's doing what and who it is that whether it's who it is that you look up to or who it is that you just see doing something that is great and you wish to learn something new that they're doing. Sources of inspiration, basically, is so important. And then just immerse your ear in as much of the genre that you wish to learn, just as much of that as you possibly can. So in my case, it was classical, but at one point it was mariachi. So I really had to just immerse the ear in mariachi and just learn what you can. If a door is opening to you and you have no idea really what that door is, why not explore it? Right? Decide if you like it. If you don't like it, fine, but at least you went through the door, right? And if you like it, go forth.
Amazing tips. Yeah. I think, this will be very helpful for any budding artists. For sure.
Hope so.
So there are many shows that are currently running, and also there are many more lined up in 2025. So share us more about those details.
Sure. Where to start? So I'm currently on The Lion King, which is showing at, it's a Mirvish production, which is showing at the Princess of Wales Theatre. It's been showing since November, when we opened in November, and it's going to continue until the end of August. So August 30th is the closing date. Okay. We do the show 8 times a week, believe it or not. We are there 6 days a week, so pick any day, practically except for Mondays, and come see the show. It's a wonderful, wonderful show. So I'm there in the orchestra pit playing violin and viola. And in September, my quartet is going to be releasing a new CD, and it's called it's basically called Lockdown Lullabies. Okay. And it's a project that we did during the lockdown, hence Lockdown Lullabies. Okay. And we basically commissioned composers from across the globe to submit things. Their compositions to us, and we were going to make some concerts out of it, and we ended up getting 181 submissions. We didn't think it was going to be that many, but we basically distilled our list down to 30, and we did 2 very large concerts of 15 and 15 from literally composers from all over the place: Italy, England. I think we had one from Norway, from Japan, from Canada, just all over the place. So we're releasing a CD of some of those compositions in September. And then my mariachi band also has a couple of big ones. We're doing Stratford Summer Music Festival I think that is September the 11th. So we sold out our last show last year at Stratford, which is amazing. So we're looking forward to giving another show there. And then following it up with Mexican Independence Day, we're going to be at Nathan Phillips Square, somewhere around the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock p.m. Time. And that's on the 14th of September. And Obiora, my lovely group Obiora, I'm sort of going backtracking in time in August. We are really lucky to be hosted by the Montreal Symphony Orchestra for at least the past, I think this is maybe our 4th or 5th time back. I think it's our 5th. So we've been really lucky to have an orchestra that is really reputable, take us under their wing, and we get to work with their conductor. So we'll be doing a concert which is called Carnival of the Animals, based on Saint-Saëns' Carnival of the Animals, and also with a composition by an African-American composer, Quinn Mason. And that is August the 16th. And that is in the Maison Symphonique, which is the best acoustics in the country. Not a word of a lie. And conducted by the Rafael Payare, who is their conductor. So there's lots going on. and if I may do a shameless self-plug,
Go ahead.
basically on my website is where all the information lays. It's TanyCharles, TanyaCharles.ca. And I try my very, very best to keep all of that information updated. So when our CD release has a date, it'll be there with all the information and all of the concerts that I mentioned. And basically anywhere you can find me at any given moment is on my website at any time.
Yes. So all those who want to watch the shows, you will have the details showing up on the screen. So go ahead and look into the website and you'll get all the details updated. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
So now, having said that, I'm really interested because AI is growing at a very faster pace. So from your perspective, like what changes are you seeing in the musical scene?
Oh boy, a lot. On both the performing and the teaching side. On the teaching side, I think most teachers are finding that students are using the AI for paper writing, that sort of thing. It happens in my field a lot, so that's something I screen for. Even though the topic might seem more artistic, like more tangible musically speaking, you'd be surprised at what you get. So having to screen for correctness and all that sort of stuff. So that's more basic. Overall, I feel like everybody's having that problem from a teaching perspective. But on the AI in terms of a performing perspective, that is scary.
Yes.
I have seen violin playing robots. They don't sound real. But the fact that AI has improved so much in a short period of time, I have no idea what that robot could look like in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. So that is a little bit scary. But also in musical theater specifically, and even composition, it's all kind of in the same boat, just music making, especially with computer, like digital music. There is what we call like patches, and patches are basically sounds. They're sounds of some particular instrument and sometimes groups of instruments. So the patches for composition or even pianos, it all kind of comes from the same place. They're getting to be really, really good. So a lot of patches are being built by people who will go get the sound from the London Philharmonic. And the London Philharmonic will sit there and play, certain things, and then you'll get a big orchestral sound, and it'll sound very, very real. Which basically means that if I'm getting hired to do a commercial as a member of an orchestra or as a solo artist or whatever, I could be potentially replaced by this, and it would cost them significantly less. So it is concerning, but I will say, even for theater, especially from the theater perspective, because a lot of musicians are being replaced by keyboards for the same reason. Patches will never sound 100%. I shouldn't say never. I hope that AI doesn't get that good, that it sounds so real that you can't discern if it's a real player or not. Because the closer we get to that, the more that starts to replace physical people playing their instruments. So in the theater world, what that looks like is maybe you had a 10-piece string ensemble playing your show because you get a nice lush string sound. But the theater doesn't have enough space, or the theater doesn't want to pay that much money, or the production doesn't want to pay that amount of money, and they wipe out those 10 string players and they replace it with one keyboard player who will play a keyboard sounding like strings. So we see that more and more. And it's, thanks to musicians' unions, for example, which is why I have my job at the Lion King. I am the real string being amplified by other strings that are in a keyboard. But if I weren't there, it would just sound a little bit mechanical. And all of the solos that I play without the orchestra sound would sound mechanical. And that's where you really notice it, is when you wipe out the whole orchestral feel and you have just one solo violin play something that's supposed to be very lush and beautiful and organic and maybe not totally, like maybe flexible. And maybe the vibrato has to be in a certain expressive way. You don't get that. So
I was just going to say, like, the human touch will never be there because it comes with experience. Like, you know, this, I have to play this much and a little lesser in the next note.
Exactly.
So how much you train robots, if there is something already existing, maybe they can perform better. But if something new is to be created, they can do it. I'm not saying they can't.
Sure.
But a human can think in variations. Like, you can come up with multiple pieces and come with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's also, for example, on the show, I have multiple substitutes so that I can do different things, or if I get sick or that sort of thing. That's like every show, because we are human after all.
Yes.
And so the way that I play the show sounds like me playing the show.
Yeah.
The way that my next substitute plays the show sounds like them playing the show. There is an authenticity to what they do, but it is them. It is uniquely them, and mine is uniquely me, and all the other subs are uniquely them as well. So you're going to get a slightly different flavor when you hear us play the same exact music, right? And I think that uniqueness or that authenticity is lost on AI.
Yeah.
So that's, if that is important to you or to the industry or the client or whatnot, then we'll be preserved as musicians. But, it's when money comes into play, for example, expense, or just that awareness to notice that that's what's being lost. When that's gone, then we're at risk.
I think we are mostly looking now on the business aspect. If people are artistically inclined, they will be ready to shell out that money to get good quality stuff.
That's what we hope. Yeah.
I mean, it's good to adapt to new technologies. That's how we are all growing up. But I just really hope that the real artists are preserved. I really hope that.
Me too.
Because I'm not very happy listening to a robot playing a music. Like, I wouldn't, shell out my money to watch a robot.
Yeah.
I would go for a human experience.
I should hope so, and that's what we hope when we do our live shows, is that there is that love of us, the person, not just the music that we produce, because that could sound different with a robot, like you're saying. So.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I really hope that we are getting into a better world. Fingers crossed. But with this, I'm coming to the last segment of the show.
Okay.
So, which I call rapid prompt.
Okay, cool.
It's just related somewhat like sounding like AI, but it's not AI. The thing is, I will ask you a set of questions and you got to answer me rapidly.
Okay. I'll do my best.
We'll start?
Okay.
Okay. Your inspiration?
My students, for sure.
The quality you love about yourself most?
Lifelong learner.
Amazing. That's what I've been hearing throughout the show.
Yeah.
Your most favorite musical piece?
Brahms Violin Concerto.
Okay.
Yeah.
If not violin, which musical instrument would you prefer?
Electric bass. I think I could lay a sick bass line down. So electric bass.
Amazing. What do you enjoy the most, to perform or to teach?
That's like asking me to choose mom or dad. I don't think I can say either one. I like them both equally. I can't choose.
You love both your children.
I do.
Okay. Anything that still makes you feel angry or wish you could change in the musical scene?
The ability to, for anyone of color to walk into any place and not have a subset of judgments that are being, or at least be perceived like that, to feel like you're being judged as you walk in, whether it's from a visibility perspective or a gender perspective as well.
I really hear you.
Yeah.
If you look back now, anything you wished could have happened differently?
I would always love to know what it would be like to study in the United States. Yeah, I never had the opportunity to study there. So I think it'd be, if I could undo a little bit just before even going to university, it would be to study in the United States a little bit, just see how that would change.
Maybe look for a course.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So one word on how you want to be remembered.
A bridge maker. A bridge maker. And I mean just like a connector, like from people, like just to connect people to the places that they need to be, for the people they need to know, for the things that they need to get. Just a just connecting, like a connector.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Your dream collaboration?
Regina Carter. She's an amazing jazz violinist. If you don't know her, look her up. She's amazing. And she's classically trained too.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like a collab, I would learn so much from her. It'd be amazing.
Wish you all the best for that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any message for your Black community?
The space is also open to you. Don't feel afraid of walking through the door. And in fact, please come through the door, because musicians like myself also need to know that our community is just as supportive of us.
Amazing. And any message for the budding musicians, especially violinists?
Practice smart, don't practice long. So basically, quality over quantity.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And this is very much required in these times where
Definitely.
quantity is taking it over. So I think with this, we are coming to the end of this rapid prompt, and you have done wonderfully. Trust me.
Thank you.
With this, we are coming to the end of this segment, and we have a small gift from us. So this is from us to you.
Amazing.
And I really hope that you get to take loads of notes here.
Oh, I definitely will. This is going to be my new practice journal.
Oh, I'm honored.
Thank you so much. And
It's
thanks for
all
the
a
invitation. So I have something for you as well. And I wanted to gift you. This is a CD called Journey Through Night. And this is from my string quartet, the Odin Quartet. And we released this in 2021. And basically, it's all Canadian music for string quartet. So all of the composers here are all Canadian. I hope you enjoy it. We have so many wonderful composers on here, including our own cellist who composed something on there as well.
Yeah.
And I hope that you enjoy listening to.
I'll definitely enjoy this. This is just a beautiful piece. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. And I have our official signature here.
There you go.
I'll know, like maybe someday I'll see you in Oscars, and then I'll show people I got her on the show. So thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
So before we come to the end of this episode, do you have any message for our viewers?
I guess the general message is don't give up. When things get tough, connect yourself with the people who support you. Whether that's family, whether it's friends, whether it's colleagues, and find your community. And your community, it can look like you. It doesn't have to, but I think the most important thing is that you find the support wherever you can, and let those people uplift you and return the favor.
Thank you for this wonderful message, and it's really been a pleasure to talk to you, Tanya.
Likewise. Thanks for having me.
It's all our pleasure. So with this, we are coming to the end of this episode. And as I always say, stay inspired and keep shining bright. And don't forget to subscribe my channel, because that's where you will get to see the whole video. Thank you.